Tupac Shakur was an African-American rapper and actor who became famous in the early 1990s. Shakur was a primary proponent and promoter of the West Coast gangster rap aesthetic during his time, and is also still considered one of the most significant icons symbolizing struggle. Tupac Shakur has sold over 75 million albums to date, making him one of the top-selling artists of all time. Shakur was born on June 16, 1971 in Harlem, New York. Tupac's mother, Afeni, raised Shakur along with his younger sister. The three of them endured financial hardships and struggles, as Shakur's mother was constantly between jobs and moving the family around often, sometimes staying in homeless shelters. At birth, Tupac was originally named Lassane Parish Crooks, but was renamed Tupac at 1 year old when his mother joined the Black Panther Party, where she discovered 18th century Peruvian revolutionary named Tupac Amaru. Tupac's father, on the other hand, lost contact with Afeni when Tupac was 5 years old. He would not see his father until he was 23. Tupac stated, "I thought my father was dead all my life," in an interview with Vibe magazine. Tupac and his mother and sister would go on to move to Marin City, California when Tupac was 17. After their move to California, Afeni would fall to crack addiction, which ironically would be a drug that Tupac would sell on the same street that his mother would buy her supply from. But Tupac's love for hip-hop and poetry would steer him away from this lifestyle. In the spring of 1989, Tupac would meet Layla Steinberg at a park, who struck up a conversation about Winnie Mandela with Shakur. Steinberg would later be convinced by Shakur to be his manager. Steinberg would eventually secure a number of gigs for Shakur, making him slowly more known and popular in the hip-hop world. Tupac would eventually gain enough exposure in hip-hop to be signed by Interscope Records, who would help Shakur release his debut album, Tupacalypse Now. Tupacalypse Now would establish Tupac as a social commentator and representative of struggling African Americans. For example, one song called Brenda's Got a Baby that tells the story of a single teenage mother in the struggle, and another song called Soldier's Story, in which he speaks about the ever-growing conflict between police officers and the African American community. In his second album, Strictly for Mahitas, Tupac continued to be a spokesman for the African American struggle with songs like Keep Your Head Up, where he emphasized the number of struggling single African American mothers struggling on welfare, encouraging them to please don't cry, dry your eyes, never let up, forgive but don't forget, keep your head up. Tupac's third album, Me Against the World, reached #1 on the Billboard 200. The most popular song from the album was called Dear Mama, in which he describes the struggles and financial hardships that Afeni endured raising 2 children by herself. Dear Mama would hit #9 on the Billboard Hot 100. Tupac's fourth album, All Eyes on Me, however, was more emphasizing of the thug gangster lifestyle, moving towards more hedonistic and menacing topics and lyrics instead of socially conscious commentary like the African American struggle. On September 7, 1996, Tupac was on his way to a party with his record label executive Suge Knight in Las Vegas. Shakur and Knight were halted at a red light when a vehicle carrying unknown gunmen shot at their vehicle, hitting Shakur 4 times, twice in the chest, once in the arm, and once in the thigh, with the most fatal one hitting his right lung. Tupac died at University Medical Center in Las Vegas on September 13, 1996. Tupac Shakur was a major contributor to the awareness of the African American struggle in the United States. It was very rare for any musicians or artists to rap or commentate on social issues regarding financial struggles, welfare, police brutality, and inequality, but Shakur was the first to do so, raising awareness across the entire nation while also uplifting the African American community. Songs like Brenda's Got a Baby, Keep Your Head Up, and Dear Mama are 3 examples of how passionately Tupac felt for the hardships of the African American community, especially mothers. These struggles that Tupac describes still resonates today, despite it being created over 2 decades ago, which is why his music will have an everlasting impact on society. I'm connected to Tupac's work and advocacy because I am someone who is very passionate about equality and social issues. I believe that it is rare to find or hear any artist who have such a passion for correcting social issues like how Tupac Shakur did. He saw the problems and wanted to make everyone aware of them instead of staying oblivious like many rappers today who are looking to flaunt their money and success. Tupac's main purpose in his first 3 albums was to uplift those struggling and to let them know that despite their struggles, he knows that they are strong enough to make it out, just like how he did. As a result, Tupac will not only be remembered as one of the greatest rappers of all time, but as one of the most primary social commentators and activists in recent American history.